Some nice, juicy, spinning piles of melons were one of my first attempts to build something with 3JS. A library to create interactive 3D websites, which could be games, eye-catching product showcases, or anything else you can imagine. And I tried to use it to create my personal portfolio website. Why, you ask? I don't know. The stuff you can do with it looks kinda cool, doesn't it? No, but really. I always found it very intriguing and wanted to create something similar myself. But the last time I tried, I honestly didn't get far, as you could see in the beginning. The spinning melons were all I got. The biggest challenge I had was that I kind of overkilled my tech stack. I didn't use React for almost 2 years and already wanted to jump in with Next.js and many other libraries, and everything kind of fell apart. I got errors upon errors and nothing really worked with that. My motivation was gone. But my desire to restart this project just got reignited, and now I want to approach this differently. First of all, I want to share my journey of creating this portfolio. I want to share what I learned and what challenges I face along the way, in hopes it keeps my motivation up, and when this website is finally done, I surely want to keep this channel going and finish all of my other abundant side projects I gathered in the past years, and even start new ones. So, what was my idea in the first place? What did I want to use 3JS for? Well, I had and still have a pretty clear picture in my head. I'm a developer and a hobby photographer, and I wanted to display both of these respectively. And since we now have all these fancy AI tools, I tried to let them paint this picture for me I had in my head for the past year. My idea was to display a laptop and a camera as 3D models, which the user could interact with. The AI got me some pretty interesting results I can use for inspiration when I create my actual design later on, and I'll probably come back to the AI again and again, as this turned out to be a really useful tool already. Which brings me to my next point. I need to create these 3D models, which means I have to dive deep back into Blender, which already brings up donut flashbacks again. So for now, all I want to achieve is to create a donut and display it on the website, which might be hard enough already, since I also don't have much experience in 3JS and gonna learn this as I go. Therefore, the next logical step is to delete everything I had before, to really start this project from scratch again. And fix my git config because it somehow got broken on this PC. And great, I'm already wasting time on the most important stuff again. Before I really started with Blender, I tried to use ChatGPT to help me create some 3D models because I saw some people using it to create SVGs and some crazy Python scripts, so I thought, why not? Well, it was completely lost with my prompts. Maybe I could get more useful results if I tried to fine-tune them, but I think the models were just too complex, because look at what weird creatures it created. After this little adventure, I decided to model some delicious donuts by myself, and after about 7 hours I had created this beauty. Look at that. With my donut finished and my repository fixed, I successfully created a new React project, installed all the 3JS libraries I needed, and now I only had to figure out how to export my model from Blender so I could use them in the project. But this already led to some problems. After quick research, I read through this article which recommended to use the site to convert your model to a React component, which seemed too good to be true. Turns out, half of the stuff that I had in the render didn't work in 3JS. Either it was so bright you couldn't see anything, or random planes that got imported because I forgot to turn them off in the render. But after some trial and error, I got something working in the preview. As I already said, some of the stuff in the render didn't work, and as you can see, the sprinkles on the donut in the background are not being displayed. This is because I used geometry nodes in Blender to create them. And I couldn't really figure out how to get them working with the model export, if this is even possible. So I shifted my focus and just tried to get something to show up for now, since the donut wouldn't be in my final render and more like a proof of concept. But it was good to know I really had to look out for a lot of things when I create my final models later on. Funny enough that my biggest problem was to figure out why the donut was always displayed in such a small part of the screen. And as I dug deep into the 20 lines of CSS that came with the default React app, I found the issue. I mindlessly used min width and min height, which for some reason didn't cover the full height of the screen. My washed CSS knowledge can't explain why this happened, but after some digging around I changed it to width and height and everything worked as I expected. I just love CSS. The next thing I want to figure out is how I could display animations I created in Blender, because that would open up some possibilities later on, but I don't want to spend too much time on it for now. And with that, my first devlog is done, and I really hope I can see you all again next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. See ya!